thrust set.
Check.
We've made great roads and safety with engineering fixes. Devices that will tell you when bad weather's coming, when other aircraft are coming too close.
Okay, approaching 5 miles, turning right onto 130.
This day and age and the reliability of the aircraft, it's very rare that we have an accident
And flap up.
that involves a technical fault. What we're finding is that increasingly it's the human interaction which causes issues with aircraft.
We're visual, mate. We've got the ground prox, but we're visual too.
Yeah, that's good.
Learning to fly an aeroplane is a very skill-based thing. But we know competency in its purest form talks about skills, knowledge and attitude, and combining those three to ensure, against a set criteria,
Clear land.
Check.
that every person receives exactly the same training to the required depth and level to ensure that they're competent to do a particular task.
So I guess if you're sitting in row 23A, it'll be much more comforting for you to know that the pilots up the front have been trained in communication and decision-making competencies than just achieving their licence outcome by virtue of the fact they've had 1,500 hours of aviation experience.
A properly implemented competency-based training system certainly means a student will continue to learn at their own pace, but it makes sure that they learn to the standard or common standard that everyone must attain.
So competency-based training is of course framed on defining competency standards, competency-based training, competency standards-based training. What the Part 61 Manual of Standards does is prescribe all of those competency standards for every flight crew licensing qualification. So now we have a very robust framework on which to ensure somebody is competent in the knowledge, the skills and the attitudes for all of those qualifications.
So the benefit of competency-based training in a formal sense is that we have clearly defined in the Manual of Standards each unit and element of competency and the performance criteria required to be demonstrated to attain competency. So the standardisation that drives into the delivery of a flight crew qualification is much greater than perhaps we may have had in the past.
It removes the requirement that everyone follows the same pathway to reach an outcome. People can, move along that pathway more swiftly if they do the work, they bring to the table a certain skill set. It may be that they can reach competency more quickly. If people decide to take a slower pathway, it doesn't prohibit them from reaching their goals, it just means it might take them a little bit longer to reach competency.
Developing a competency-based training program for me wasn't particularly difficult. I was fortunate that I started my work as an instructor in a school that already had a competency-based syllabus, and so I've been fortunate enough to be able to bring some of that knowledge with me into this business here. And so when people come along and say, how long is it going to take me and how much is it going to cost me to become a pilot, I never answer them in hours and dollars. I give them a guideline perhaps, but I say these are the skills you need to acquire and your learning will take this journey, and the time it will take you will all depend on how quickly you pick up these skills, and everybody is different, so I can give you a rough idea of what it will take in terms of time and money. But ultimately, until you're actually able to do it, you wouldn't want to be flying and nobody else would want you to be flying. Down, so that we can translate that extra power. It has to be part of the culture of your organisation and a part of your philosophy. It's not necessarily about the forms and the templates you use. I think this is where, show me where you're up to in your book.
I am up to... With regards to recognition of prior learning, what we would be looking for is for an operator to describe in their manual, their Part 141 manual, or their Part 142 exposition, exactly how they recognise prior learning. That's obviously an integral part of competency-based training. What's important though is how that occurs, how the information is verified and how competency is verified is described within the operator's manual.
Competency-based training allows us that if someone came to us with gliding experience or sports recreational experience or a helicopter, it allows that ability for us to then try to use those skills, that knowledge, and just build a gap analysis and see where we can actually map them into the system. without having to turn around and say, I'm sorry, yes, it's great that you've got this information, but we will have to start you from zero. So it does allow us that flexibility of doing it. If they can demonstrate it and we can vet it, then we can help them work towards that overall goal and the outcome, and try to do it in a way that they're competent and they're safe and they reach their goal on time. If I get a transferring student come in, then I will have to sit there and vet all of the information that has come in along with their logbook and an interview with them to find out initially where I believe that they can fit into the program. And then from there, build an assessment flight tool around that particular sortie that I need them to demonstrate, and then do it on multiple occasions so I can actually go, yes, the competency has been met on more than one occasion, and yes, you can start your training from here because you've been able to demonstrate that skill. It's sort of a double-edged sword. It may give cost benefit to the student in that regard, but it may also be a disadvantage slightly to the operator because it does suck up manpower trying to make that assessment.
I don't think any training is meaningful unless it's competency-based. In an area such as aviation that is so safety sensitive, we cannot have a tick-the-box approach to training. We cannot allow people to buy licences. We need to be sure that people have a deep knowledge and understanding of the skills that they've acquired, not just a superficial one. So it's not about passing exams, it's about being able to live and breathe those skills. And of course that's going to make the difference between safe skies for everybody and not.